So this video is going to talk about image size and some various issues regarding image size. And I'm going to be working with this photo of an adorable kitten, which I surprisingly got off of the internet, which is full of photos of adorable kittens. So what the heck, here we are. And I'm going to go up here to the image menu. And we're going to look at these two items right here, the image size and canvas size, which seems like they should be pretty similar, but they're quite different. The image size has to do with the data and the dimensions of the image, and you can think of it as similar to a photograph that you could print at 8 by 10, or you could print it at 5 by 7. Or you could think about it canvas size in terms of if you had like a 5 by 7 photograph and you put it onto a 5 by 7 piece of canvas, then it would fit. If you increase the canvas size that it was stuck on, the canvas would actually get bigger, but the image would still be a 5 by 7 image. So I'm actually going to start here with canvas size first. We're going to go to canvas size, and this image is 22 inches and a bit by 16 inches and a bit. And I'm going to change the canvas size to 30 inches by 20 inches. Now notice that there's this anchor down here, and you can change where the anchor is by clicking in any of these squares. And if you have it on the center, it's going to expand equally in all directions from the center out. But you could make it so that it went up from the top left corner, top left or bottom right corner, whichever you want. You can also specify what color you want the canvas extension to be. So for this first one, I'm going to show you it expands out from the center, and it's going to be a white background. We're going to not worry about relative right now, and I'm going to click on that, and you can see that there's a white space around it. Now I'm going to zoom out to fit. If I go up here to View and I say Fit on Screen, you can see that that's a Command 0 on the Macintosh, and so I'm going to make sure that I've got that fitting on the screen so I see all the things, all the available space of this image, and I do. So here we are. So we've got the image size is now different because it's 30 inches by 22 inches. If we go up here to Image, we can see canvas size, it's 30 by 20. If we go up to image size, you can see that it has a lot more information on here. And we're going to go through each of the types of ways that Photoshop shows us the image size here in just a minute. But we're going to start here with width and height. And you can see that it's 30 by 20. Now if I wanted to take this, if I changed this back to 16 inches wide, notice that it's changing the height automatically. It's because I've got this this linked in here. If I didn't, it's back to its original size. If I turn this link off and I change this to 16 inches, notice that it didn't change the height at all, but my poor little kitten is all squashed and stretched because it's changed the width of the entire image. It would be like taking that photograph that was stuck onto the canvas and changing that image size of the whole thing. Well, actually, it would be including the canvas too now that we've got it into the image. So this is 16 by 20. I'm going to just hit OK and show you what that looks like. So poor little kitten is all squished. I'm going to hit Command Z and undo that and get our kitten back. Yay. And then I'm going to come up to image size again. And let's take a look at some of this. The very top thing on here is image size, and it's in megabytes. It's 8.9 megabytes. And the reason that it's in megabytes is that the computer only cares about the image size in terms of how much data it's taking up on its memory. So image size actually refers to the amount of data. Canvas size is actually only the width and height of what you're going to print out. The dimensions is an alternative thing. That's kind of what canvas size talks about, but the image size menu offers you different options. First of all, there's this drop down that lets you choose which way you're going to measure your dimensions, whether it's in pixels or inches, however you want to do it. This one it's showing the pixel width and the pixel height. It's always width by height. And you can fit to particular sizes, or if I wanted to say I'm going to make this a 4x6, 300 dots per inch, which is standard for printing, I could say that and it's going to automatically do it, and it's not going to squash my little kitten. I'm going to hit OK. You can see that. So now it's down to 4x6. It didn't change the aspect ratio. And by aspect ratio, I mean it's the same, it's not squished, right? The poor little kitten isn't squished. It's all looking correct. It didn't make it too narrow or too tall. So now my image is 4, but it's going to fit on a 4x6 card, but notice it's not 4x6 inches. It's just, it's fit to a 4x6 card. So it's very tiny now, but its resolution is 300. So we've got width by height, and then resolution. Oh, and width by height can be done in inches, centimeters, that type of thing. Resolution has to do with how many pixels are packed into each inch. Now, if I was going to make this 3,000 pixels per inch, notice how big the file got. The image size is up to 274 megabytes. It was 2.75 megabytes. So how Photoshop does that is it actually makes up pixels and adds them in. It says, oh, well, there was this color in here before, so I'm going to add in another one like it. But it's going to be absolutely enormous, and it's going to be very low resolution. So let's take a look at that. It's going to take a little while to process. So you never want to resize your images upward in resolution or image size. You can add as much canvas space around it as you want, but if you add in, if you change, oops, I didn't want to move that. If you change the resolution on it, it's going to look like this. This poor little kitten is so pixelated now. The quality of the quality of the image is very degraded. So you couldn't really print this picture very big. If you see the whiskers and the grass, you can tell how it's lost all the detail of that fur at that size. It's way, way, way too big. So be very careful when you're changing image size not to sample upward. I'm going to go back to 300. Resampling is another one that you can do. You can if you change the resolution, you can ask Photoshop to resample it. Generally, you don't want to do that, but if you don't have that checked and you change the width, let's say I want to change this downward to 100 or 150. Let's just take it in half. 150. Notice how when the resample is off, when it's on, this width and height doesn't change. I'm going to have it resample on. I'm going to change it to 300. Notice how the width and height doesn't change. If resample is off, I change it to 150, 300, it's 40 by 26, 150, it's 80 by 53 inches. So it's keeping the same number of pixels in the exact same arrangement if I don't have this resample checked. If I do have it checked, it's going to, that's when it makes up pixels basically and adds stuff in. Now I can have it automatic. I can say preserve details with enlargement. There's some other bicubic. You can try these if you need to try to adjust things upward. You can give it a shot, but be very careful using these because they usually don't work all that well. So that is the difference between image size and canvas size, and a bit about how you can resample things and change an image size safely.